ARESxGOD here, and it's time to talk about the honored one. Jujutsu Kaisen Gojo is awakened, and what an episode. Yes, I have to say it 2 times. It's just wow. I knew it was gonna happen. Everybody knows that Gojo would have been back, but the return, seeing him in his unhinged state, everything that happened, even the way they led up to that point with him, felt so good. And even the start with Geto, and I feel, well, Gojo kind of steals the show. I feel like it's also very focused on Geto and how he gets to the point of how we know him. Of course, I still have a lot of questions about that, but the episode here, and when Gojo said that line, "I am the honored one," wow, what an episode. Let's get into it and talk about it. Now, it picks up straight from last episode. We see a bit of the fight there, Toji and Geto fighting, or starting the fight with Toji taking very easily care of those curses away and starts monologuing. Like, this dude just has Giga Chad energy throughout. Ever since we've met him, he has been one of the most Giga Chad characters in the series. Who else even put Gojo into this state? And I kind of feel like them meeting together kind of transformed the Gojo that we know from the one that he was at the beginning here. And Toji starts talking about the security, his powers, how it worked with him being invincible, that he doesn't have any cursed energy, and just that monologue with Geto just boiling alive there out of anger and frustration, and how he even keeps that curse spirit that he has in his stomach, so he's still invisible to everybody else with his tools. And he was using this for the pack that is in the Jujutsu world. When you reveal your powers, it amplifies them, so he was also doing that. But here it glimpses a bit at how not only his physical strength is amplified thanks to his heavenly pact of having no energy, even his senses and everything. That's how he tracked them there to where Tengen was, even though they didn't have any traces of cursed energy and anything like that. He tracked them with his senses there. Now, unfortunately, which yeah, she's probably dead. Seems like Kuroi is dead. At least they alluded to that. It's not fully confirmed, but she's probably dead, which I still feel very sorry about. But I don't know how she would have handled finding out that Rico also died, especially after the goodbye and how much they cared for each other. But yeah, she's probably dead. And from this moment on, we have Geto just exploding, finally getting angry. And Toji, at some point I thought he pulled out an Inuyasha sword there. It really looks like Inuyasha's sword. And we have the fight here, summoning all of the spirits and everything, but unfortunately Toji takes care of them very easily. As strong as Geto is, I don't think he's a good matchup against Toji, let alone even Gojo wasn't, but that was more planned. But here Geto, he couldn't really do anything against Toji, honestly. He tried using this curse that came in like a horror movie, where we have a very scary ghost lady there asking, "Am I pretty?" And apparently the effect was there's no violence against anybody that is there. Puts like a law or rule in the domain expansion thing. You can't fight, or there's no violence between the two until you answer the question. Now, I don't know how you can even answer that question. Would it even matter if Toji said, "Yes, you are pretty, you are cute"? Would have even made a difference? Probably not, but he just blunt said it, "You're not my type." Yeah, that's very true. And he quickly takes care of the blades there that were across him, so that didn't even do pretty much anything. So Geto still tried his best. No, wasn't working, unfortunately, for him. And Toji just obliterates him. Oh, again, another one. He wins very easily, honestly. Even in this fight, cuts him across the chest. Not to kill him, so he didn't want to deal with all of the curses that could have been released if he killed Geto. But he made an interesting point, which I'm very curious about, saying if it was Shikigami, I would have killed you. And this got me thinking about Megumi and how his power actually works. So if Toji would be worried about somebody with Shikigami, and even more with how Megumi is and his power into the future, that could be something very important moving forward, and even for Geto, depending on how he wants to deal with Megumi. And we also know that Sukuna is interested in Megumi, so this could be a very key point here. Now he even starts, I really liked this one from Toji. He starts gloating after this, and then saying, even you with blessings couldn't do anything. And this was a bit of a word play. I'm too much of a weeb. I caught it a bit saying Megumi. It's kind of a word play with Megumi meaning blessings in a way. I'm sure if you guys speak Japanese, you probably understood it better than me, but it clicks for him, reminding, oh, Megumi, that's how I named him. He remembers his son. But yeah, this is yeah, Toji is strong, but I wouldn't put him as father of the year in that department there. But this is where we see the dark side of the world here in Jujutsu Kaisen. After the fight, after everything, back at the religious group there, he brings Riko's body, which the way he just slammed her on the table there like a rag, that looks so... I still feel sorry about Riko. Just as much as I love the fights, I loved everything that happened here, I love Toji, I hate him for killing Riko. She was such a fun, awesome character and girl. She finally chose to live her life, but unfortunately she was killed. She was killed too soon. But here we see one of the top brass of the religious group there being very smug after he got the proof, saying that this started because of fundamental differences in beliefs with Tengen, or Tengen started spreading Buddhism or something there, and they didn't like that. And my favorite part here was after he left, I was like, what is this guy just talking about, rambling, all of just, he seems like a crazy person. And Toji just talking to his man made this, yeah, I get it. I felt that in the moment. That guy wasn't all there. But what I also liked was this manager guy that was talking to Toji, saying, when Toji asked him, why did you leave the maid alive? Well, I kind of did it for your plan, for that moment of relief, which I kind of think worked better if they killed the maid right then and there. They probably would have gotten Geto and Gojo and Riko angrier, and things could have gone much different. They probably wouldn't have been able to kill the Riko. They would have gone more on the defensive, change things, how they handle things. But that moment of relief, then being able to save the maid easier in Okinawa in that direction. So this guy played quite a major role. I don't know if we're ever gonna see him again, but it wasn't just Toji, so to say. I really liked that that moment there. And after that, Toji walks off into the sunset. Hey, the mission is over. No, I really like that moment. He's just walking, looking at the sun, morning, and you have Gojo there showing up. Oh, that looked so good. That moment was amazing. And he shows up, and you see he's in that unhinged mode. We've seen all of the characters having their moment. Megumi, Yuji, Nobara having that moment when they sort of awaken in a way, kind of that crazy thing everybody does in the Jujutsu Kaisen world here. And this is where we see how Gojo transformed from how he was not fully in control of his powers, and we see him here gaining control of his powers. Thanks to Toji, what he did kind of put him on this path here. He was finally able to use reversed curse technique, kind of taking two negatives and making a positive energy to heal himself. So this is how he got back, and he kind of made the comment that he should have gone for the head, like insert your Thanos meme. Yeah, if Toji was more gruesome, so to say, even more than he was like completely destroyed Gojo's body, that we wouldn't have had Gojo back. Because in that moment when he was stabbed, he let go of all intentions of attacking and focused only on this to do the reverse cursed technique, but this is where we see him, even Toji mentioning, he's high. Now, this is Gojo unhinged. He's in the zone, high on life, adrenaline pumping, everything. He's not in control. Well, he's in control, but also not in control, if you get my my meaning, saying he finally saw the true essence of energy and should have gone for the head, basically. But yeah, Toji, we kind of saw a reversal, how the first fight was when Toji bodied Gojo. This time we see Gojo just, this wasn't even a fight, like this was a straight up execution. Toji tried to attack there, attacking Gojo was just dodging, no issues, and it looked gorgeous. The just ooh. The animation, the colors were insane, the transitions, the composition, really good. And Gojo, just the way he was dodging it, using raid to blast him, and even Toji is starting to go through the power, saying 1 is neutral, the power to stop, referring to Gojo's powers, 2 is to attract blue, and 3 is to repel red. But he didn't know something very important, and even Gojo mentioning, hey, so this is why you knew about my powers, you're part of the Zenin clan. But even among the Gojo clans, very few know about this this thing. But the same way that Gojo felt something was off during his fight with Toji, I really like the dynamics between them, the parallels. They're just insane how good they were for each other. And this was probably one of the most important fights in Jujutsu Kaisen, especially for Gojo, when Toji said something feels off, and Gojo just with that unhinged look, looking down at him in the zone. And I don't know if it's very hard to be in that state of mind after everything that happened. You feel like you're floating, or kind of like an out-of-body experience here, especially with the way Jujutsu Kaisen world is. He even start saying, sorry, Amanai. But he didn't say sorry for what happened to you. Sorry, I'm not even angry. I hold no grudges against anybody. I have no enemies. So Gojo basically became Thorfinn here. But that's because he's in that state where he doesn't feel anything. Here, he's kind of sees the world in a way. He's very high, would be an understatement, saying the world feels wonderful. And this is, I saw this moment before with all of the memes. He's been memed same way as with I have no enemies, but it felt so good seeing him. He finally became the strongest one, saying throughout heaven and earth I alone am the honored one. And those, oof. I love Gojo, one of my favorite characters in anime in general. I love overpowered, smug characters, white, just this was such a fun episode. And this is where he made the comment, only a few know about this, even in the Gojo clan. If you combine them, red and blue, and he does purple, and it looked like a Tide Pod there for a second. Don't eat Tide Pods, kids. But the way those water droplets in a way looked so gorgeous, combining them, and hollow purple comes out. And Toji kind of has a moment like that old guy that fought Geto, thinking to himself about life, saying how he got to this point. Yeah, that's me, if you're wondering how I got to that point a bit. He wanted to bring Gojo down, or more specifically, to bring the Jujutsu world down, the one that rejected him, especially his clan, Zenin. So this was also very personal for Toji, not really directed at Gojo. He was just the personification of the Jujutsu world, the most powerful one here. And yeah, it didn't really work out for him. But also makes me think with Maki, how exactly she's going to turn out. She kind of has similar powers to Toji here. Of course, she's not near at his level. Maybe in the manga, I haven't read the manga, so I have no idea. But the Zenin clan has kind of created monsters, honestly. And I hope after this we're gonna get more into how the clans work, how everything, Sukuna, Gojo, everything along those lines. I'm very interested in the Zenins also. But yeah, after this we have purple finally happening. And it blasted like half of his torso. I think was his left side. He didn't have his torso and hand, so he was dead basically on the spot. He got destroyed there. So this is why I'm saying this wasn't a fight. It was an execution, honestly, from Gojo to Toji, and starts thinking of his family here. And when Gojo asked him, any last words? Nah. But after that, saying in like 2 or 3 years, my kid is gonna be sold to the Zenin. Do whatever you want with that. And we know what Gojo does following that. He goes there, takes Megumi, brings him to school. We know it from season 1. So this is how Gojo found out about Megumi. But I'm really curious, did Gojo have the conversation with Megumi? Did he told him about his father, about the clan, about everything along those lines? I'm really curious about, or maybe he didn't, I'm not remembering. Let me know if it was shown in the anime, not if it's in the manga. So yeah, that was pretty much the episode. Gojo being back, completely obliterating Toji. Insane, gorgeous looking episode. But after that, we also have a bit of an end credit scene, which I would be scared of Gojo after this. We see Geto getting to one of the locations of that religious groups, and he finds Gojo there taking back Riko with those. And people even in real life are like this. You get some very delusional, insane, ignorant people. They are clapping when Gojo was taking her out. Just deranged would be an understatement. Like it's worse when you have villains, people doing bad things, evil things, very evil things. At least they're honest about, or at least you know them. But ignorant, delusional people, I sometimes find a lot more annoying than straight up evil characters and people like that. I hate them so much when you saw them, and I kind of wanted Gojo to do it when he said after that, when Geto was just looking around very shocked, and I think that moment kind of struck with him, and it's probably one of the catalysts that drives him to become the Geto that we know into the future. And Gojo, he still was in that calm demeanor, but he wasn't back to normal. He was still in that state there. He even says blaming himself, and the question there after that, should we kill them, like kill all of them there? And Geto says no, there's no point. And after this I was like, when Gojo said, does there need to be a point? I'm like, I kind of wanted him to do it, even though yes, of course it would have been wrong, but fuck them, they're ignorant. I'm in anime, of course I'm not talking about anything like that, but in that scene, yeah, Gojo is very scary. He would have been willing to even do that. Of course would have had probably a very different maybe villain Gojo if he went through with that, but the temptation was there, more than definitely was there, and it was very easy for him, especially when he was in that that state. But Geto said it's very important that there is a point for Jujutsu sorcerers, but when we know what Geto becomes, I still have way too many questions about him. Probably next episode is gonna be how he becomes like that, and I think after that episode 6 and 7 are probably gonna be a recap, and 8 is gonna be a break, if I remember correctly the schedule for season 2. But yeah, overall insane, amazing episode. I'm glad we saw Gojo with how he got in control of his powers, the fight, the eyes. You get lost in those eyes. Some of the scenes with his eyes were just insane. The eyes got better animation than a lot of series. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you guys thought about the episode. What are things so far of this arc? We have one more episode left. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, helps me quite a lot, and you guys get the latest videos on the series that I follow. So keep enjoying Jujutsu Kaisen. Make sure to check out the podcast Because Anime. I'm gonna see you again on the next one. Bye bye.